we've got the Memorial Scarf as a present. How good is that? Next up, Roma. Right, another player from Bobby's past, who I'm sure is going to need no introduction, but you are going to get one. I'm sorry if I'm pausing a little bit on some of these stats because I'm not all that good with all the numbers. It's very, very dark in here, so I'm trying to read them. So it might be that somebody is credited with scoring 3,000 goals or something when I actually mean 30. But I'm talking now about a player who joined on a free transfer from Arsenal, went on to score 28 goals in 67. He knows who he is. He was a lethal part of the partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, John Hawley. I'm sure there's no sort of divide between left and right here, which is well as a spare seat. We've got another striker come on now. He's somebody I didn't recognise when he first walked in because he's clearly been to the hairdresser because his hair is only halfway down his back at the moment. I'm sure you know who I mean. He started his career at Bradford City, then it was all downhill from there on to Sunderland, to West Brom and to Wolves. Now he's with Sky Sports, fantastic commentator, fantastic player in his day as well. And Bobby, he's going to buy you 2 pints of Guinness. It is Norman Whiteside. We're going to continue with more strikers now. Somebody came to Bradford City from Coventry, another one who went into legendary status. He's also played around at some other club in West Yorkshire, up at Middlesbrough, up at Newcastle as well, down the road at Barnsley. Ladies and gentlemen, John Henry is here. Right, that's enough of the strikers for the time being. We're going to go to the other end of the pitch now. And a guy who I'm sure he started as a right back, but he then moved in to become one of the most cultured sweepers in the country before anybody even heard what the term sweeper was. I'm sure Dolly had a big part to play in that. Came here from Aston Villa, made over 200 appearances before eventually going on to play for Halifax Town. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Hemmings. Dave's already won the prize for best suntan of the night. I don't think so. Right, we still have even more players to go. Can you believe there was so much love to you? You can't, can you? You really can't believe this.
I wish I'd got the IOUs.
Don't worry, very good for you. Right, next up we have another player like John. Came in from Coventry City, played over 200 games, if not even more, scored shed loads of goals, and is now a manager in League One with Carlisle United. Came so close to beating anything good in Tottenham the other night. Ladies and gentlemen, Wigan Athletic. At half-time, by the way, we will be going into that room. We're having a great five-a-side team against that five-a-side team. We'll have one more player to come. There's a guy who's been said his head is up in the clouds, but that's not because he's big-headed or anything like that. It's just that he's so tall He's always the first to know when it rains. He had a couple of stars here. Another one who's gone into legendary status. Another one with a Motherwell scarf for Stuart. Ladies and gentlemen, Norman Whiteside.
No, he said that.
Oh wait, I guess we can be asked.
Maybe we'll be here a little bit later. He's just a bit delayed doing his hair. He's also a Garsley. I think we've got another Bradford City, former Bradford City player.
Gallagher and the free kick. Whistle's gone. We'll certainly see Bournemouth's players' arms raised when the final whistle goes, because they know that these 3 points are going to take them into the third division. Bradford's players will have to wait for that announcement from Bramall Lane. They've won the ball back with Leicester. Gives anybody on the Bradford side today. Now Cook, who's also done well, has been pushed up front. His late Forest. We're calling extra time now. Brignall really feels that Bournemouth might be a very considerable side in the third division. Spackman, well Funnel, just delayed too long. He'll get the shot in now, straight at round bottom. And surely clear it as quickly as we possibly can to Cook, the back end, Campbell, next flight. And Bobby Campbell, what a goal! It's straight from Ramsbottom's hands. The keeper has to fill up the pitch. Up go the head, looks back at it, and gets onto it, whacks it first time. This is the confidence. The Bradford City fought their way back to the third division after 4 years of so important.
These women, and there I was in bed. Bobby's that far away from me. My eyes are like that. But I'm in a habit of staying up quite late. 12, half 12, 1 o'clock, a little few tinnies now and again, Bob. All of a sudden he started telling me jokes, and I'm still awake at this point now. It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. Even though we sat in the stand at Carlisle the next day, and I think Bob was on the bench, I still have visions of something happening on that day. And since then, Bob, we did become really good friends. Another story, a good one, is every season we used to go away to...
Did it?
Heavy comer, that's what I can say. Every end of the season, we all used to go, all lads used to go to Magaluf at end of the season, everybody went, and if you're in Bob's gang, you're in Bob's gang, we all had to go to the pub. And one day we're down the beach, everybody disappeared, me and Bob are still there, and we're walking on the beach down Magaluf, and there's a group of players there from Oldham, Everton and all that. So we're walking down, there's this strong umbrella, so we're walking down, me and Bob. He accidentally hits his head on the umbrella. What did the Oldham players do? Start laughing. The worst thing you can do with a you don't take the piss out of him when he's drunk, I'll tell you. Even when he's sober, you know, but when he's drunk, you know, he banged his head. So Bob walked straight across, having control of Bob now, and slapped 2 of the players. Just went bang, bang. No one dares say a word because this man is a legend, obviously. And I don't think that Bob actually gets the praise as a player that he was. Bobby Campbell was a fantastic player. He really was. I'll always come back to this man who set all our careers off, really, is our father figure called Bobby Campbell. So good luck with your book, Bobby. It will go really well. God bless you, Paula, and God bless Bob.
There's a lovely irony with Bob. My first day of pre-season training after I'd signed as a professional, that was when Bobby bestowed me with my nickname and what he calls me to this day. When I walked through the door there, he shouted, "Prince!" And that wasn't Prince Charles, by the way. That was the Purple Rain Man. And my attitude was, listen, if Bobby Campbell wants to call me Prince, he bloody well can. Because I'd always thought it was the name of a dog. But anyway, Bob. So I was affectionately christened Prince. I'm just going to deviate slightly, and this is the irony, really. 11.5 years later, I signed for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and their legend centre-forward was a fellow called Steve Bull. And when I walked through the door after signing for them, Bully come and shook me by the hand, turned around to the rest of the lads and said, "Good glory, lads, don't off look like Prince, shall we?" The irony wasn't that these two legendary centre-forwards had christened me Prince, it was that I didn't understand the bloody word either of them was saying. Just to finish, I will echo many sentiments that have gone before. I was there in Magaluf when Terry Newman hit the deck, and whilst it was funny initially, it was very, very serious. And what you've noticed about all of these stories is you've got one central person taking control of the situation, on the pitch, off the pitch, in the face of adversity, in the middle of all the fun, and that's Bobby. In terms of a young player coming into a football club and trying to learn his trade, he doesn't know this really, but I look at my career and in probably a slightly milder way, he set me up. Really, he spoke about the jump and the leap or whatever. He taught me how to attack a ball. He taught me how to look after myself. He taught me how to stick my head in where the boots are flying. You remember Terry Orth? Terry Orth, when I was a 16-year-old boy, said I didn't want to head the ball, so I was scared of getting my afro dirty. But Bobby changed all that because he showed me how many goals you could get by getting on the end of crosses. Greg, he took me up to the pub up the road, but Greg was at the front. I couldn't get near the front. We used to have car races to and from the training ground. Remember them, lads? And who was at the forefront of all of that? And it was a win at all costs policy, like letting tyres down, taking keys out of the ignition at traffic lights. Just remember, this was the senior, mature player of our club. So I think you'll agree. You'll look around and you'll look at the influence, and you're hearing the influence that this man had on each and every one of us. Bobby, you helped my career enormously, and I thank you for that. You've got a kind heart, a kind soul. You were a hell of a player, a hell of a centre forward, and you can pay me later. But I think John Henry just touched on it. In terms of a tribute to the great man, I just look out there and I see all of you, and I look on here and I see all of us, and that tells you everything you need to know about this great man. It's an absolute pleasure.
And it was my privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to spend 4 days and 4 nights in the company of Mr. Bobby Campbell. It is an experience I shall never, ever forget. And I still have cold sweats whenever I think about it. How the man ever got onto a football pitch, I believe he did it twice from those two. And at one point, in the first game, he actually looked as though he knew which way we were kicking. He's an international footballer, the man's an Olympian drinker. And it's often, the question is asked whether a good player in the olden days would be a good player now. This man certainly would, he was wicked enough and quick enough. But the question I'd like to ask is, Cristiano Ronaldo, take him out of the Bernabeu Stadium, that beautiful lush carpet, put him on Valley Parade, the middle of winter, no gloves, no tights, heavy ball, but then, what you've got to do, you've got to smoke 25 Park Dry every day, and drink upwards of 40 pints of lager every week, rain or shine, in or out of season. I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo will be pouncing about our
Came through the door as an 18-year-old, 10 stone 4, wet behind the ears, dark glasses. Bob called me Clark Kent, at least I think it was Kent. We found over the piece that we had quite a bit in common, and he knew I liked a pint. And he said to me after about 3 days, I'm going to take you for a drink, young man, you're coming. Well, actually, he didn't ask me, he told me. And he said, I'm going to take you up to the Bellevue. It's true. I know the wife said, it's all right, Bob. What did your wife? She wasn't on. She got a little bit on the left, and she looked at me. I got stiffer. That's not from the training bike. Hold your hands out, young Greg. I can't believe it, I've only been here a week. And she squirted the cream in both hands, right? And I'm like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever done. I couldn't be at the top of that scoring goal, winning medals, bollocks to all that guy. I was going to run some barefoot boots. And she walked off and I've never ever seen her again. He knew the lady because he'd been there before on the odd occasion. That sort of set me up, so that was my introduction to Bob. But what I would say is I'm now involved in the game still, managing, and a lot of what Bob did for us, certainly not the older ones like Evo and Watto and Baz, they were already affected. But the younger ones like Stuart, John, and myself and Mega, I think owe a great deal of gratitude to Bob, and I certainly do. Because I'm still in the game now, and he took you to toughen up. And Bob eventually, I think, respected all of the young players there and looked after us, because we were all right and we were decent. But he was like the father figure, and I thank him for that, because the times that we're here were tough times, but the group that's here tonight are here for Bob, and we'll never forget the impact he's had on us, and I certainly won't forget how he's toughened me up to deal with the people in the game now. And I don't really mean that, Bob. You've been an absolute legend.
Singleton, and the question was, why did Coventry let us go? Unbeknown to you, Bobby turned around to Argo and myself and he says, because you were shite. Things don't change one bit. And it was, you talked about the magical number, the number 9 at Bobby was a great number for them, but I mean, if you're a number 11 or a number 7 at Bradford City, when Bobby was number 9, your life was absolute hell, absolute hell. He was always on our case all the time. I mean, I remember I'd not long joined the club. I think it was Walsall, one of my first games, and we came in at half time, and he's given me the biggest ball, like not getting crosses into the box. So naive young Scotsman, just as I go back up and just told him, where to go, you stupid big Irish so-and-so. 10 seconds later, I was hung on the peg. I learned quickly, I tell you. And so, over the years, I've gone to Mark Ellis and myself, and I can recall a wee story. It was in here actually. It was 10 years after the fire. It was we all had a big get together to raise funds for the Burns unit, and it was a terrific night. I mean, all the ex-players were all here. Trevor Taft, Terry Orith, the local dignitaries, MP, Lord Mayor, Professor Sharp for the Burns unit. It was a who's who, and they were here to raise money. And Stuart had done a little poem for all the players, from one right through the socks and everything else. In goals, McManus, like a cat, diving to the left, make a fantastic save. He went right through the team, got to Mega, number on the left-hand side. Mark Ellis with his blonde flowing locks, breaking down the left wing, beats one man, beats two men, plays a fantastic ball to the far post. No, he had was a voice at the background shouting, bollocks! Even when I turned up tonight, he flinches like that, and we still get it one of them. It's your big brother, you're scared of him. And another little story, we're at Heathrow. No. It was all about the Mega's blonde flowing locks. I mean, he had a bleach blonde, still bleaches it as well. And he had it permed at the back as well, all permed there. And we were going away on a little trip to Trinidad. And Bobby stood at Heathrow at the bar with a fag and a pen. Mega walks past, all his aftershave on, and looks at the dog's balls. Looks at that. No, just at that moment when he walks past Bobby, his hair's out of here, and Mark's hair's out of here. Bobby gets his lighter and just goes. And Mark's got all this lacquer on, so you can imagine it's up like that. Bobby walks away. So fortunate for us, we were giving it one of them, damping it out and everything else. But, I mean, I would just endorse what the rest of the boys said there. I mean, Bobby had a fearsome reputation. Not only was it fear, if you're a winger, trying to beat the crosses in the box, but the opposition as well. I remember we played up at Odsall against Wimbledon, so-called crazy gang. They had all the hard men and what have you. And it was quite a tough encounter. And there was a few tackles here and there, getting in, flying and what have you. And I remember just getting towards it at the half time, and I turned round, and there's one of their players, absolute sparkle. Absolute, out for a count. I looked down to my left, see Campbell running away. Did we ever see any of those crazy gang boys come and do anything after that? Did they touch us? No. And that, honestly, it's true. And when Greg touched on it there, he made us grow up quick. He was like a father figure to us. When Jacko said that, he was like a big godfather to us. And if anyone was giving us a hard time, we would just, hey Bobby, he's hitting me. And Bobby would be straight over and sort it all out. And that's just. But all I'll say is, I mean, we'll get 12 guys here tonight. All yourselves here, that's a tribute to the man himself. He's got a heart of gold, and he's a great man, and Bobby, I'm just proud to know you, big fella.
I've got to say, I feel a bit of a fraud being up here. didn't know Bob played with so many comedians, but absolutely fantastic stories, lads. If you want to do a tour, I think we can get one going. Yes, I'd pay to watch, wouldn't you? Fantastic. Absolutely great entertainment. I am last year, so I can go on a bit. Okay, as I do. I could be here for 3 or 4 hours telling stories about Bob, ones that you won't want to hear me talk about. But first story, first meeting with Bobby, came in, apprentice, doing the boots, blah blah blah, doing the kit. Alright, everyone goes by, next minute, pass the boot room. That was David McNiven, right? And then, after that, hey, okay, so, ready to go to training, and Brian Edwards, I thought, is Brian struggling, he's not well? Well, we'll pass the rest on to Brian, because I thought Brian might be here tonight, but we'll try and Brian said to me, my first day, 16-year-old, nip up and get the plasters and the Vaseline for the heels because it's pre-season training. So I thought, okay, right, and then I'll try to get the good books, see the big guy in the corridor in the corner of the dressing room. I'll go and ask him, excuse me, Premise, do you need anything for your throat? I've just told you about being hung up on a peg, right? I fucking always speak with us. But two stories. I wasn't brave enough to ask him if he wanted any fucking mints for his breath. But anyway, not being a bad breath, just being maybe a couple of pints. And the first day of pre-season, I thought, oh man. Anyway, so that was the first time I met Sir Bobby. And the next one, we Roy McFaul, sorry, Roy McFaul. Roy had left, and his first game was down at Bournemouth. I don't know if Bobby can remember it. I don't think John was there. I can't remember who was unlucky enough to root with Bobby. Probably Megan, actually. But it was Friday night, and it was absolutely thick of fog. Friday night, Brian and I think I can't remember who was taking the team, but Brian was taking the team. And he says, right, you've had your meal, you can go out for a walk. So a walk, the worst thing I wanted to hear, so Bob said, right, come on, we'll go for a walk. Right? So we're down the promenade, and first pub, and you come out, game's never going to be on, never going to be on. So, what do you want? Half a lager. Fucking house of women. Alright, I'll have a pint. Oh, Christ. So, an hour later, I had 2 pints. Honestly, I thought, I think Meggie was there, he had a port and lemon. No, seriously. I think Bob was on his 6th chaser and Brian walked in. Brian walked in, went, listen, come on, the game might be on. Bed, Bob, you can do what you want. Bed. So we wake up Saturday morning, my head's throbbing, I've honestly had 2 pints. Honestly, 2 pints. Mega's gone. He's gone, 2 port lemons, that fucking hell. Anyway, so we get the ground and it's thick of fog, my head's thumping. I played one game, the game's on. And I did to the referee, I'm 18, game can't be on, it can't be on. I'm starting, no. Anyway, cut long story short, it was really foggy. 1-1 at the time. Ball goes in the goalie's hand. The goalie goes to kick it. And I'm actually, I don't know what he's doing, I'm that far forward. But he went to throw it, and I knocked it out of his hand and put it in the goal. And my first ever big goal. So I'm absolutely mental, running back, the referee can't see, he's giving the ball, nobody knows what's going on, lines and red is flag. Right? But as I'm running back, I don't know if you probably know him, the boy you know him, Bob, John Impey. He used to be play for Bournemouth centre-half. It was like George Order, naughty man. It was the biggest, hardest centre-half I've ever seen. And I'm running back celebrating, just gone bang, and it's caught me over the neck. Right? Bob comes running over, leave him alone, bang, gets in a bit of a bother. No goal, kick off, bang, end up, finish to each. We come in after the game, Bob says to Brian, ice. He's got ice back on his knee, back of his calf, back of his Achilles, top of his thigh, and he got me by the throat again. You ever fucking upset another centre half? Honestly, I mean, the lads, the young boys will talk about it, and he looked after the so much, but he hated me, because I used to get in a little fight, so I went, sort out with number 9. And he certainly looked after us in that regard, but as I say, I could be, I mean, what's this one? I remember Bob used to say to me and Meg, he says, listen, see when the ball goes in the box, just run it down me for the knockdowns, you know, and just play off me. So that was a Saturday afternoon. We used to go to the Caverns on Saturday night, and me and Meg used to say to Bob, listen, just play off me and Meg for the knockdowns and see what goes. Honestly, that's not true, but always for me. Not true. Crosser, the Mark Haley. No, sorry. And that is honestly gospel true. We used to do drills, and like I say, we used to be doing. I couldn't even reach from edge of box with my foot, and Bobby used to be scoring from his head. Once Maggie actually crossed it and John crossed it, but anyway, that was another thing. But that's for me, and finally, just like I say, it's not. I look tonight. I was here, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, can't remember, and it was a big thing, McFaul's coming back, brilliant, and this place was still down. But I'll tell you what, it was far busier tonight than when I came back, and I think that's credit to Bobby, because he's such a great lad. Alright, and hand up for Bobby.